Good day, class. Welcome to another tutorial on fractions. Today I want to teach you how to divide fractions. I always teach this after multiplying fractions because if you can multiply fractions, then you can divide fractions because all division questions are changed into multiplication questions. When changing division questions into multiplication questions, there are three rules that you need to remember. The first rule is that the first fraction remains the same. The second rule is that the division sign gets changed into a multiplication sign. And the third rule is that you need to change the second fraction into its reciprocal, which means you need to flip it. So let's use the three rules to change this division question into a multiplication question and then solve it. So the first rule is the first fraction remains the same. Second rule, change division sign into multiplication sign. Third rule, write the reciprocal of the second fraction, which means to flip it. Now we have a multiplication question, which you know how to do. So we're going to look again to see if we can do cross-reducing. And here with the 6 and the 8, we can do some cross-reducing. The greatest common factor for 6 and 8 is 2. If we divide 6 by 2, we get 3. If we divide 8 by 2, we get 4. And then we can look for the 5 and the 3. There is no greatest common factor for 5 and 3. It's just going to remain as it is. And now I can multiply. So 5 times 4 is 20, and 3 times 3 is 9. And we're left with this improper fraction, and there's another tutorial you can watch about how to work with improper fractions and mixed numbers. I'm just going to solve this. 9 goes into 20 2 times. 9 times 2 is 18. The remainder is 2, and the denominator remains the same. Here, I'd like you to pause the tutorial and try this question on your own, and then you can compare your answer with the solution. So we're going to use the three rules. The rules are, for rule number 1, the first fraction remains the same. Rule number 2, division sign becomes a multiplication sign. And rule number 3, change the last fraction into its reciprocal, 7/6. And now we have a multiplication question. And again, I'm going to check to see if I can cross reduce. And with the 3 and the 6 I can. The greatest common factor would be 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And I can also reduce the other way. Cross reduce here with the 7s. The greatest common factor would be 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And now when I do the math, 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times 2 is 2. This question is a little bit more difficult, and again, I'd like you to try it on your own and then compare your answer to the solution. So again, we're going to follow the three rules. First fraction remains the same, 4/9, division sign becomes a multiplication sign, and find the reciprocal of the second fraction, which becomes 27/8. And I'm going to see if I can cross-reduce, and with the 4 and the 8, I can. The greatest common factor is going to be 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then I'm going to look at the 9 and the 27 and see if I can cross-reduce there, and I can. The greatest common factor here is 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 27 divided by 9 is 3. And then I can multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. And again, I'm left with an improper fraction, which I'm going to convert into a mixed number. 2 goes into 3 once. Remainder is 1. Denominator remains the same.